There you go. Okay. Let's hope I'm not going to deal with the presentation outline for the sake of time. I'm also not going to deal with the SALGA mandate. I think most of you are well aware what a SALGA mandate is and what services we offer. I'm also not going to deal with the strategic outcomes in terms of our strat plan. I think we all know that SALGA is busy to try and put ourselves as an agile force of influence by delivering services to the best of our ability to allow our municipalities to produce and deliver services to our communities. In terms of let me then therefore go straight into the presentation and straight into the business of the day by introducing the concept of compensation benefits in the workplace. Now, workplace compensation is a compulsory form of insurance that relates to workers who get hurt at work or sick from diseases that they contracted while they're at work, or for death as a result of these injuries or disease that they get. And it's provided for under the Compensation and Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act, or COIDA, as it's more known by most people. Now, the Act Compensation Fund, then we have municipalities that are self-insured or who self-administering this compensation benefit. A typical example, the city of Cape Town, who's self-administering compensation for injuries on duty. And then we also have someone booked off sick for more than 3 days. He got the injury on duty, he's booked, for instance, like a 13th check, etc. Then you get permanent disablement, and that's where the person's disease results in permanent disablement. The compensation is paid either in a lump sum or it's a monthly pension, depending on the degree of the disablement. Then medical cost, of course, when you get injured on duty, the employer becomes responsible. Now the commissioner is then liable for the payment of reasonable medical cost incurred by the employee because of that injury, up to a maximum of 24 months, but this period can be extended pending whether the medical treatment actually reduces the disability. And then you have, initially you will agree with me that you different stages of disablement. I think it's a temporary disablement, but then afterwards it can become a permanent disablement, and it can eventually lead to death. Now, when a person dies who got injured, the benefit that is payable is the spouse of this employee gets a lump sum as well as 40% of the pension of the person that was permanent, as if he was permanent disabled. The rest of the 60% then go to the independent children, up to a maximum of 20% per child. If there are 3 children, each of them will receive 20% of that pension contribution of the parent that passed on. And if there are more than 3 children, it will be divided equally amongst the dependent children. Now, just to mention the problem statement diagnosis, all employers are obliged to register with a carrier, which is either the compensation commissioner of the compensation fund or a designated mutual association. Failure to register for compensation constitutes an offence. Municipalities that insure via the compensation fund experience long delays. And that sometimes leads to a situation, because the municipality is responsible for that medical cost of the employee that gets injured, it sometimes leads to a situation where that payments happen twice. Instead of they receive this invoice and they pay that invoice twice. They also struggle to get the money back from the compensation commissioner, unfortunately, because we all know that a compensation fund is based in Pretoria. They have limited staff, they have limited capacity. So sometimes this payment takes up to 2 to 3 years for a compensation of these benefits to be paid out by the compensation commissioner. Now, the inconsistent approach, like I indicated, there are municipalities that are self-administering, there are municipalities that are contributing to that are part of the compensation fund regime, and then there are those that are not at all part of it. This inconsistency requires some intervention that will ensure equitable treatment for all employees across the local government sector. Now, we did some case studies from some of our metro municipalities, and we received something from the Ekurhuleni municipality, where there's an indication that for the past 3 years in 2021, there were a total of 246 claims. For 2022, a total of 370 claims, and for 2023 from up until now, there are a total number of 148 claims. Now, a shocking, in terms of the injuries, a breakdown that they sent to us in terms of those injuries, most of the injuries that was reported and that was claimed for are issues where people had soft tissue issues, and sprains and strains of ankles, slip on the floor and so on. So that gives us an indication that most of the claims are for a very temporary period. It's just a matter of going to the doctor, get a bandage around the ankle, and you're good to go. But of course, we all know that when there's a serious injury, and like I already alluded to in previous slides, when it becomes permanent or where death comes in, say for instance a traffic cop, we all know that sometimes traffic cops they hide behind the bushes, they jump in front of a car, and the driver is not always sober, and that traffic officer can get seriously injured. So that traffic officer may be admitted to hospital with a lot of bone breaks and so on, and eventually municipalities, in terms of the total wage bill, that was according to a source that we received in terms of a presentation that was made to SALGA. Then, if we look at the synopsis, and that's basically the journey that SALGA took to see how we can perhaps review, how can we get a license. Because some of you may still remember that this problem was identified in 2019, where we were getting aware that local government employees are struggling. And there are several challenges for municipalities to submit claims for compensation benefits. So we were presented with an initiative at that stage to say, but there's a possibility for SALGA, given the position that SALGA finds ourselves in as an association of municipalities, that we secure a license to provide workmen's compensation benefits. So then we appointed a service provider who developed a feasibility report to SALGA. Now, in terms of this feasibility report that we received from the service provider, some important things that came out is also discovered that it is possible for local government as a sphere to administer compensation benefits. A similar issue, a similar system is currently in the mining sector, where there's an association, Rand Mutual Association, that are providing compensation benefits to mine workers. Now, after this feasibility study, we consulted municipalities. We came back to municipalities to provide them with the information that we received and the idea and initiative that we want to take. And we obtained a mandate from municipalities that we then approached the relevant department, to see if we can obtain a license and take over compensation benefits on behalf of municipalities. There was very little compliance by municipalities, and therefore they couldn't put in claims. And the non-compliance make it difficult for the DG then. He said, well, you can't even comply there, so it's very difficult for me to exempt municipalities if that is the case in local government. And further, they claim that SALGA does not qualify as it's not a mutual association. Now, in terms of the requirements, our case study or our case will be that we are already registered by the department as an employer body or employers organization, where we fulfill the requirements of the LRA in terms of being a fully registered employers organization. So it gives us some credibility. We're also of the opinion that in terms of the COIDA, SALGA, we can deal with this matter through ongoing and sustained engagement. Applying for a license, let's engage with the department and continue to engage with the department, because there is a specific provision in the COIDA that gives the commissioner of the compensation fund the discretion to determine whether to approve the application and on the terms he or she may deem fit. So all that SALGA then needs to do is, through this engagement, start to demonstrate our ability to provide a form of surety, that we can play an administrative role for municipalities, and that we facilitate municipal compliance with Section 83 of COIDA, so that we basically then tell the minister that we will stand in and we will make sure that municipalities are compliant with COIDA. And we offer other linked value-add products to municipalities. That is our attempt to try and then persuade the department to consider providing a license to SALGA. And life medical treatment, and employers will not deny medical treatment. They can even go to private hospitals with our reinsurance, etc. And our direct contact with municipalities, this may be a much better situation. Now, our envisaged course of action, and I'm almost there to finish up the presentation, as there is no documented history of institutionalized collaboration between SALGA and the Department of Employment on matters relating specifically to workmen's compensation benefits, there exists a viable option to do so given the structural and systematic challenges that are experienced within the administration of employee compensation arising out of injuries on duty in municipal workplaces. And it is therefore incumbent on SALGA to take proactive steps in creating a firm foundation for such envisaged collaboration, so we can start to convey a message that as SALGA, as a credible organization, as an association of municipalities, we can assist that there is compliance with the compensation with COIDA. Going forward, SALGA envisages an approach to the matter that will create a conducive environment for the creation of a memorandum of agreement in order to leverage the assistance and sounding board of the Department of Employment and Labour for SALGA to meet the qualifying requirements for securing an operating license similar, uncomparable to the Rand Mutual Association dispensation, which I indicated as typical association that are doing this already. And then SALGA shall also, in the course of these multiple approaches, facilitate compliance with Section 83(1), which is that section that indicate municipalities are currently not compliant with. We can facilitate that municipalities become compliant with COIDA in terms of that. And then we will contribute to fostering an environment of mutual cooperation with the department and the compensation fund and all relevant entities in the municipal compensation benefit ecosystem that will then give us a better foot in the door to perhaps eventually get a license, get our ducks in a row, so that we have a proper compensation benefit offer to the municipalities. Now, the recommendation, it is recommended that the PMA should adopt the repurposed, because it's a repurposed municipal compensation benefit implementation model for municipal employees. that a licensing mandate from the designated department and entity, which entails, first of all, a memorandum of agreement, and thereafter compliance with the qualification provisions of the with COIDA. And then thirdly, endorse the proposal of SALGA, convening a once-off compensation benefit summit in partnership with the designated department and the compensation fund to cultivate an environment of effective consultation, partnership mobilization, and across-the-board constituency.
Employee here, not the one residing in Mpumalanga. He has requested that the 3 minutes that you took, which I gave you, you'll make sure that the presentation in the links that have been given to councillors find expression to all councillors and stakeholders, because as you are going through the slides, you can't touch everything in the interest of time. With that said, I'll open for discussions, and I'll be strict on time on the discussions. If there are clarity-seeking questions or inputs, but at the end, we all understood what was this presentation all about. It was for the PMA to adopt the repurpose of securing all the license and so forth, and to endorse their proposals. And SALGA must also convene with the strategic partnership, which I think is the Department of Labor. But I'll therefore give it to your good selves, because there's a concern of municipalities that are not submitting. And as SALGA, we are prepared to can assist. As SALGA, we are prepared to can assist. Because if you don't do that, some municipalities don't even have danger allowances. But on the presentation as SALGA, we didn't involve you councillors. But if you are workers in SALGA, it means that you are involved in the presentation. With that said, I'll take a set of hands, and I don't do second rounds. I only do one round and I leave. I'll start from that side. Thank you. Second row. And I don't take afterthoughts that you want to see someone lifting a hand, then you lift your hand. Fifth row. This, no, I've noted the hands because I don't want to say you'll be number one, because someone will wait for you to lift a hand, then you want to raise after you, as if you are men marking like Gerald Rapatlela or Raputla. So I've only got one hand. Definitely the SALGA PEC and the previous PMA delegated the deputy chair to speak on behalf of all municipalities and workers on this one, to ask clarity-seeking question and make further inputs before we can endorse that. You are lucky. That's how we are organized in Mpumalanga. Deputy chair, you are the only one. I will give you not more than 3 minutes, which is about 180 seconds. No. The counting starts.
No, thanks. Program Director, Councillor Tutuzi Nkosi, the Speaker of Emalahleni Local Municipality, who is a PEC member, directing Session 5, and greetings to my colleagues in local government and the officials. The presentation is welcomed and appreciated, and it is worth for labor peace in our municipalities. Indeed, the concern that you raised, Program Director, on a lighter note, it's so serious that of some of our municipalities not complying with the returns, because it disrupts the labor peace in our spaces or institutions. I think SALGA will have to take an investigation or a research to establish, probably on a quarterly basis, and appraise the relevant working group in terms of those municipalities that may not be submitting their returns, so that we intervene at an appropriate time. I may not have catched the presenter well. She will have to bear with me. However, one question that one would want to ask is how did the city of Cape Town managed to secure the license? What is it that can be learned from them by SALGA and the rest of the municipalities? Or is it not possible for individual municipalities other than SALGA to pursue the accreditation thereof? Thank you very much, Program Director. And the proposals as submitted are supported. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader. Yes, thank you very much for the short questions. I was worried you're going to ask me questions that I can't answer, and then I would have to jump around. No, the City of Cape Town, previously you had a Workers' Compensation Act, and by the time that the act was amended and the COIDA came into place, there were certain associations that were already established, associations like the Rand Mutual Association, and Cape Town was already at that stage self-administering. Now it is still possible in terms of the Act, it still makes provision that there can be exemptions. So indeed, it will be possible for municipalities to be exempted. However, we must also remember that this matter is not a light matter. There are several risks involved. And therefore, the proposal of let SALGA as the association perhaps take over this role, because as a collective then we will be stronger. We can look at proper reinsurance, because you will have to be reinsured as well. Yes, we may be financially stable at this point in time, but we all know what COVID caused, and anything like that can happen in future. There are all sorts of disasters, and then easily that finances may not be available. So it will be important that we also take partnerships with other organizations to make sure that it remains a financial stable and type of fund. I hope that perhaps answer the question. The thing that we were not a mutual association, and that's where I think the confusion started with the minister to say that, but you are not a mutual association. And as a matter of fact, if you look at SALGA, we are an association of municipalities. That is our family. We are representing municipalities. We are one, municipalities and SALGA. And it puts us in ideal position then to take over this role. And I also welcome the recommendation that we perhaps start looking and get that information of those municipalities not compliant so that we can assist them, because municipalities are putting themselves at risk by not complying, because they cannot run away from injuries on duties. They still remain responsible. The only problem is now the compensation fund is not going to fit that bill, and municipalities will have to fit that bill, and that becomes a very high risk given the state of finances in municipalities. I thank you, Program Director.
Okay, you may now leave.
Am I released?
Yeah. As he leaves, thanks a lot, Mr. Van Zyl and Deputy Chair for representing the province very well, because after the dinner yesterday and the networking session, we did wrote all of us as municipality that you represent us. We won't all talk just for the sake of, with the partnership which is proposed, which this PMA must adopt. Mpumalanga is availing a venue, and it must be hosted in the shores of Mpumalanga, the first national summit that is proposed as per the recommendations. And the Deputy Chair has also said that the working group in the province must look at all those municipalities that are not complying, so that SALGA can assist in the submissions of those returns, so that the employees or the working class does not clash with the employer on such matters, because there are risks involved. And he further said that municipalities who does not have the danger allowance policies, they can benchmark at Gertsbande district, that's what he said. So that they can understand, because you can't do things without policy that must govern you. And policies must be reviewed. The last one, he moved to adopt and support that the PMA endorsed with everything that he has mentioned. There was a mover and a seconder. There was a mover of this report or presentation by the deputy chair. When he made the input, he moved. I'm requesting someone, just lift your hands and then you second only. Thank you very much, Councillor Msiza. Okay.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greetings to yourself and everyone in the House. I stand to second the latter speaker on the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have got the right now to remain silent and not object because you have been given a chance. With that said, can I therefore call my panelist, which will be SALGA, represented by Mr. Mikael Chauke. That's what he told me when we were speaking of the Remuneration Commission. He said, I'm not Michael, I'm Mikael. I said, okay, it's okay. And you want me to pronounce his name? You hear for yourself, let me leave how he pronounced his name. Then the Municipal Demarcation Board, Mr. Manyi Moroka, not from Dr. J.S. Moroka. I'll request that you come this side because we are dealing with you are now a panelist. You'll come this side. And the last one will be Cocta. The HOD has deployed the senior person because they are busy dealing with something. From Cocta, Deputy Chair will assist me with Dr. Ndlovu. They are all running away from responsibilities, it's okay. Dr. Nkosi, please come. My time it's 44 minutes past 9 or 16 minutes to 10. I'll therefore request that you deal with the presentation as the panelist. And then after that, I didn't see any discussion, Deputy Chair, but I'll be advised. It was matters of demarcation, but these are panelists which will therefore present. Anyone can start to present, and in the interest of time, just divide this 20 minutes I'm giving you. It can be 10:55 or 7:76. It's a 20 minutes. 10:55 or 7:76. My timekeeper is there. Thank you. 7:76.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, leadership and colleagues. Chair, the menu we've got before us, it might require just a bit more time than you have allocated to us, because demarcation issues by its very nature talk to the prevailing challenges in municipalities and the considerations that we need to take when we do go into proposals that are made, and my colleagues will then outline what are some of the proposals there. We did a study as SALGA in 2017 looking at the demarcations, processes and impacts on sustainability of municipalities and what some of the considerations should be, particularly to the challenges it raises around governance, finances, HR processes and so forth, which I'll unpack for in the presentation. So what we've tended to see in some of the demarcation processes that have come about, it has led to limited planning change, management, costing and provision. So there's challenges in terms of that, where there's not adequate resources being provided when mergers or amalgamations are made, and it's got impact on municipalities. And even the departments that support this in terms of COCTA and National Treasury have not put in place the necessary provisions to assist municipalities in terms of a transitional grant to assist municipalities to rationalize some of the process, because it's got implications even around your bylaws that you need to then rework bylaws and so forth. So we undertook the study which focused on the boundary redeterminations, focusing particularly on large-scale redemarcations such as mergers and amalgamations, better understanding how this affects short-term transitions, as well as the review of scale of redeterminations by the Municipal Demarcation Board. And since 1994, through the interim phase until the final phase of local government, we've had a number of redetermination, amalgamations, and adjustments of municipal boundaries, and up to what we've got currently with the present 257 municipalities. And we'll provide a number of case studies. These are some of the municipalities that have merged, including your Tshwane, your Mangaung, and some of the local municipalities. And we then provide a context in terms of the challenges that Mangaung has faced in terms of the redemarcations. Mangaung merged with Naledi local municipality in August 2016. This decreased in the population density in Mangaung because now you've got a larger land area which affects also the population size in terms of the density within that, and a 50% growth in the financial recovery coupled with dysfunctional administration and poor council oversight. And it's currently under national intervention in terms of Section 13917. The next example is around Rand West local municipality in Gauteng. Randfontein and Western area local municipalities were merged from the Rand to form the Rand West local municipality, which took effect post the 2016 local government elections. The two municipalities had a risk of collapse, also having equal chances of improving. The harmonization of municipal tariffs, policies, and human resource-related matters were some of the major transformation challenges. So you had to rationalize two different municipalities which became one and try to make sense of this new municipality. 18 months after the 2016 elections, almost all top management positions had been filled at that stage. Issues with disparities in scales paid to employees in the two former municipalities impacting the workforce expenditure. So you invariably normally have a small municipality being merged with a bigger municipality, and it causes pay discrepancies, which part of the transitional grant that you must have in place would have to look at some of this. And these then tend to have long-term impacts on the sustainability and viability of those municipalities. And then there are also issues around the struggling financial status of the two established local municipalities impacting on the cash flow. So it's not just things that we can throw in and say we want to merge. It's got real implications on municipalities. And the audit outcomes in terms of what it was there before the amalgamations. And then the next case, I think most of us know about Dr. Bears Nodia in the Eastern Cape, merged geographically makes more than 49% of the district. So it's a huge local municipality that has been established now. The merger of municipalities which were quite small in population but large in area terms, larger areas to serve, and the National Treasury's financial distress scores found generally that there was no or improved change in the status before and after. So it had very little impact in terms of the actual improvements of those municipalities. In terms of the assets and liabilities, the ratio normally is 2 to 1. In that municipality, the ratio is 0.28 to 1, which is very far from what it ought to be. And the major contribution is the high creditors, balance of the municipality, and the low cash levels. What they owe in terms of creditors at merger You can see they've had an inherited debt of 65 million rand. And where would these small municipalities get that kind of financial resource to deal with that so that they are going concern from the get-go? You inherit those problems. And the impacts of amalgamations, what you need to consider, the rationalization of services, the change management costs, because you even have to change the organizational structure, for example. So it's got costs associated to that. The acquisitions of new technology for human resource, financial and payroll systems. So you have to integrate all these systems into one municipality, and it's got financial implications. Rationalization of administrative policies. You've got, if you're merging more than one municipality, you have to rationalize and come up with a single policy for leave policy, for example. Rationalization of fees and taxes and rates. Harmonization of assets registers. Rationalization of a voter's role, mergers and management coordination and communication costs. So there's a number of related costs that we need to take into consideration when we're dealing with mergers and amalgamations of municipalities. So it's also got a bearing on wages, salaries, allowances, and the wages are often set at the highest level paid by the separate municipalities. So invariably, you're going to have people, the employees who come from the lower graded municipality moving up, and it's got huge financial costs to municipalities. The harmonization of human resource policies, the harmonization of councillor allowances, it also has an impact on the way, on the salaries, benefits, and allowances of councillors. It also will move councillors up. Costs associated with retaining and retooling of workers, because some of the workers, you've got for example, if you have two CFOs, one of them you'll have to find something else to do. You have to retrain people to fit in terms of the new structure that you might have. Costs associated with staff redeployments. In some places, they have to move from a center to come work at the head office. It's got cost implications for them relocating those staff members, retrenchments or staff for layoffs. So it also has a bearing in terms of the infrastructure in integrated and consolidating programs, the upgrading of data services, which our friends from Bofen and Fundi deal with some of these issues, repair and maintenance, eliminating backlogs, revenue and expenditure impact in terms of increase in expenditures due to wage, services, and rationalizations. You'll need to rationalize tariffs. Tariffs increase for some consumers in previous low tariff municipalities. So they were paying a lower tariff, now they've gone to a higher graded municipality. Those tariffs increase. Will those community members be able to pay those high tariffs? How will it impact on your municipality as a viable municipality? What we then recommend leadership, there's been limited planning, change management, costing, and provisions of resources for transitionary process of a merger. So what we call for is that there must be a grant that must be in place before you even consider the approval of a merger or amalgamation, so that we know that there are resources available to deal with the inherent challenges that I've outlined in the presentation. The absence of functional and dedicated team to work with the merger municipalities to properly manage the change process was evident. So there's no dedicated team that is assigned to assist these municipalities that are going to merge and to deal with a number of related issues that I talked to. The lack of proper planning and transitional grant to facilitate the restructuring process, and the due diligence study should be have been commissioned after boundary decisions to identify financial situation of the affected municipalities, and the municipal demarcation as seen as a solution for viability and sustainability, which we have seen in terms of the study, it's not a solution to sustainability and non-viability of municipalities. Thank you very much, leadership.
Yeah, we'll welcome the demarcation board. Cocktail will be the last.
Thank you, Program Director, and the honorable guests that are here. The magic term is always all protocol observed, so that I don't mix up the acknowledgements of the people here. I'm going to load a 30-slide presentation, but I'm only going to focus on about 7 of those. The rest are just mandate issues. I hope they are loading. I'd like them to start on page 14 thereof. Slide 14. Chair, I hope you're counting the time it takes to load so that you don't eat in my 7 minutes. And whilst we are waiting, I'm located in Centurion. I'm not new to this province. Period 2019 to 2021, before the reshuffle of March 2021, I used to be a VIC, the Department of Economic and Tourism. So I was amalgamated and I was reshuffled as well. So I'm back in the province. It's not there, Chair. Oh, thank you. I'm going to skip the aspects of the mandates and so forth. I'm sure you know that, the process. Just on this slide, there are various classes of boundary redeterminations and determinations, including the wards. It's class 1, we've done that. You've been consulted on that one. We are now on class 2, and class 2 is class 2, class 3, and class 4. Advised in terms of the Section 26 notices that were issued. And I'm going to explain that part. Just a quick one on amalgamations. Even at the MDB, we agree that the amalgamations are either good or bad. We have publicized instances where they are bad, where we take functional municipalities and we amalgamate them into one, and sometimes it does not work. The inherent costs implications in Mangaung Metro, it is true that it used to receive unqualified audit reports, and after amalgamations it continued to have, and it's a dysfunctional municipality at the moment, but there are 2 interventions driven by COCTA and the other driven by the National Treasury, where you have what we call the National Executive Representatives appointed by Cabinet. I'm going to jump this, and I'm coming to this one now. We've done class 1 now. On that class 2 to 4, the ones that are running now, the adverts were circulated in the following newspapers or media places: Steenberger, Lohfelder, Witbank, Mpumalanga News, Eifelder, and Daily Sun. And if you look at when they were issued, you then count the third one. It's in Mbombela area again, to establish a new category B, local municipality. And it's also in the media a lot. The former Umjindi local municipality into Ehlanzeni. The last 2 are the city of Mbombela, also Tabachweu. City of Mbombela and Tabachweu, again, it's a sort of a repetition, but I'm going to just share you. Those are the areas that are to be affected, and where you see the broken lines are the proposed amalgamations or redetermination. And that's the second map. I'm not going to labor too much, and that's how it will look once it has been done in terms of the city of Mbombela. Now, the presentation has been shared, and it is here. Now, there's been word mentioned about how the Municipal Demarcation Board works, the capacity assessments, and the fact that the class 2 considerations done 5 years ago, what was presented in terms of the communities responding to the advert, ended up with only 1,500 submissions. But because this time around we did not do what happened last time, where we just issued a notice and not sensitize the community and not sensitize the stakeholders, we went around the country to something. It will either decline on a format they use called Quartile 1, Quartile 2, Quartile 2. But they will just outrightly decline and say this proposal is not a proposal worthy of going to the next step. And the next step is either to conduct further investigations or to consult with various municipalities to hold public consultations. Now, those public consultations are key because that is where you're going to augment the submissions that are made in it. But now the board is going to be delayed again for 2 weeks because what is coming out from the ground is that those proposals that we decline on a system we use within festivities that happen each year. But if this is the boundary, there is a school, public school this side, and a public school that side. But our system said we cannot amalgamate the area because it didn't meet the quartile. But the voices from the ground are, you, MDB, are actually promoting apartheid because this public school is purely white, this public school is Africans and lowly resourced. And we wanted to amalgamate the area so that there must be equalization of the areas. So that's just the one part that is also going to delay. And there may be many this side. I just took one example in terms of that. Now come October to November, there will be those considerations with the board. Now just a quick one. Please ensure that when the public engagements are going to be held, and they start now, end of July into August, just make sure that you send out your representation there to go and try and assist the public from understanding how to engage in the process to either augment, object, or simply just rule otherwise. So I just wanted to do that. Now I wanted to make comments on the areas of concern. Currently at the technical MINMEC of COCTA and MINMEC sitting sometime on the 17th, we've asked that there must be a terms of reference created for a task team to be set up so that we look at the issues that have just been mentioned now out of the SALGA study. One is that when we demarcate and the process is done, there is no what we call aftercare services. And that aftercare services has got it's got a cost incurring model for COCTA, for SALGA, for MDB, for all other related entities. And yet Treasury only provides funding for the processes before and not the aftercare. So there will be that model used to say, how do you then go and look at where there is a disjuncture from an elevated staff complement from rural areas into a functional municipality, and that messing up the entire administrative model of that municipality. So we'll be looking at that in terms of that. Now, we have our provincial coordinator this site. It's Hester at demarcation.org.za. You can then deposit some of the issues that you'd like to send out there. Chairperson, I did not want to labor too long on this detailed presentation, but I just wanted to cover the areas which will lead to us engaging from the onset. Thank you, Chair, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Deputy Chairs, Ngumale and Ngomezulu will advise proper because just after here, we'll go to session 6, which will be a closed session, and we know what closed sessions mean or plenary. Some senior citizens said it's a C item, so I'll be advised proper because the chair and one of the deputy chairperson will then have to take over and guide. With that said, I'll welcome COCTA. I think this one of demarcation, all municipalities and SALGA has had engagement on them. But if it happens that you want to engage and so forth, I'll get an indication from the deputy chair. But the agenda does not speak of discussions, because we have discussed, we have made inputs. MINMEC and MUNMECs have been called. The MEC at one stage called all troikas with municipal managers and human settlement, special or DDP directors or general managers. These matters were discussed. It's great that SALGA or the CEO of the Mpumalanga Demarcation Board has came. But with that said,
department, but as one of the directors in the directorate and the department, I would not miss the opportunity to represent the department while I'm present. Colleagues, from our side, I think we would just like to highlight some critical aspects that need to be considered during this process on this topic of ours, which looks at the impact on good governance and financial sustainability of the demarcation processes. And as COCTA, we fully support what I feel that it's very critical that proper assessments are done, because at most times when these processes take place, it's due to some municipalities having limited resources. And the ultimate goal when these mergers take place is to try and enhance the financial sustainability of those particular municipalities. So we feel that proper assessment should be done to consider this process successful. Also, we've also of the view that municipal stability is another critical aspect that needs to be thoroughly looked at, and we need to consider change management aspects when this happens, because we are aware that when these mergers take place, good governance will suffer at senior management level. Also at TOCA level, political stability is critical for the municipal stability to take place. So we are urging that proper change management processes should be done. Also issues of staff redeployment should be looked at to avoid friction within the new established municipality. Also around issues of governance, we also have the view that when these processes take place, the smaller municipalities that are absorbed or are part of this process are usually underrepresented from a councillor point of view. So the formula to consider councillors should be well considered when these processes take place also. And then we are also in full support of the issue of the transitional funding that our colleagues, Mr. Chauk, has already alluded to. We want to cite the example when Category A merges with a Category B municipality. Obviously, the Category A municipality would have the financial capacity for the merger, but we think it's important that consideration is given when it comes to finances, and that National Treasury should perhaps look at a prolonged period of funding, maybe a 3-year period, which can be under review by National Treasury and provide support to this new merged municipality, taking into account the fact that there can be aspects of human resources that would need funding, the finances itself, and other tactical matters that might arise despite the measure itself. And this process, this transitional funding process, should obviously be monitored by National Treasury beyond the merge period, maybe into a 2 to 3 year period. And funds should also be made available for other aspects despite the integration process itself to ensure that the municipality is sustainable. And then the last aspect that we feel with leadership that is present, our honorable speakers, the process of public consultation in this process should not be underestimated, and it's critical that we do not do the public consultation part of it to simply comply, because this can lead to unrest in future when our people feel they were not proper consulted and understand the processes properly. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you very much. Dr. Nkos is doing this because the MEC has called us. It's just refreshing because we know that. But with that said, allow me to therefore request one of the deputy chairperson to come and continue to facilitate the program, which will be session 6, Councillor Nxumalo. But while on that, Dr. Ndlovu, I'm surrounded by doctors, Deputy Chair Mgomezu. Yes, Council Whip of Nkangala District. I see your hand. Yeah, maybe a roving mic there. Based on the agenda, I'll therefore call you after listening to that. But before you come, Dr. Ndlovu, and maybe one PEC member must come this side. PEC Pumzile Mashiho, you'll come with Dr. Ndlovu to hand over their tokens. But let's wait for the whip of the district. You want to assist. And both deputy chairs must therefore advise on that. Council Whip?
Yeah, thanks, Chair, and greetings to...
Or delegate, but they said I must call you a delegate.
A delegate, okay. Thanks, Chairperson, and greetings to the panel and the leadership. And the House, of course, the August House. Chair, I just want to raise one matter which I should think probably Tembisile would have made a submission on, but I want to raise it to be on record. In Landkloof, there's a village called Landkloof in Ward 8 in Tembisile. A small village of about 400 households. Only one street belongs to Gauteng, a street. So, hey, there's a big problem there. You go there on many programs, that street is a problem because those people, they belong to Gauteng. And that street must come back to Mpumalanga. Okay. So I'm just saying for submission purposes to be on record on that street, particularly for the demarcation board. I'm sure I'm emphasizing on the matter. Thanks.
Thank you so very much, delegate from Kangala District. CEO, you have noted that. It's Landkloof Tabakupedu. Yeah, Tabakupedu. Is it that one? Oh, not Tabakupedu. Okay. Okay. It's just a street. They at times fight for water. As I'm here, you are there. We don't want you to come here for water. So it's just a request, and they want to, we quote them verbatim, can that street come back to Mpumalanga? Because Gauteng is far.
Can I just make one comment? Yeah. Can I just make one comment which will be generic for other issues? Remember, I listed an email there, hester@demarcation.co.org.za. Mine is Manye, M-A-N-Y-E. Now, if you can deposit, including this information, as quickly as possible to those things, then I can go and align. Because what has been mentioned, by the way, we are a municipal demarcation board responsible for the boundaries within a municipality. But we have seen a shortcoming of boundary disputes, which are of a provincial nature, administered by the Department of Constitutional Development and Justice. But what we are arguing is that if a service this side of the provincial boundary is eating another service on the other side, then we must be allowed a special dispensation model to attend to those because the delays resolving that. So hence I'm going to ask that any add to what is likely to be a dispute, if it can be deposited in those emails, because the board is meeting next week just on those other matters. Thank you. But yes, it makes sense for it to come back to Mpumalanga.
Next week when? When is the board? Next week when?
No. The submissions are, today is Friday. If those can be penned today, it will help me a great deal. But next week, on Friday, it's the committee and then the board.
Okay. No. SALGA officials will therefore send electronically this presentation because that's where the emails are, so that everyone can make those submissions in writing for the board and the meeting to consider. Delegate Kangala? And he was therefore kidnapped. That's the interpretation he's giving me. And he's requesting that you also visit so you can see how important the matter is. I'm just interpreting what he's saying to me. With that said, PEC, Masheho, and Dr. Nkosi, please, for Kokta and the token of, Dr. Nkosi, Dr. Ndlovu. There are too many doctors. Dr. Ndlovu and PC Mashiho, the token of appreciation from SALGA to the panelists. Please don't give Mikael today. Don't give Mikael. You may come. Thank you so very much, panelists, for. You may come forward and we are done. You can just come this side.
Oh, it's not in order of the first.
Can we give my panelists a round of applause? They were on time. We tried to cover time. With that said, I'm calling Councillor Nxumalo to do our session 6. But what was the kidnappers from Gauteng or Mpumalanga in the street? Thank you very much.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Councillor Nkosi. We are now taking the next session, which is the last but one session. Let me take this opportunity to greet and welcome all of you of SALGA, Councillor Mgomezulu, NEC member, I saw Councillor Nkosi was still here. Our member municipality, which is our honorable councillors, the executive mayors, the speakers, the chief whip, our municipal managers who are still here, the House of Traditional Leaders, and also, okay, some of them have already left, but thank you very much for all of you who are still here. We want to take a closed session, as advised that this is gonna be a closed session. Those who are not supposed to be here, they can be excused so that we can take the closed session only for those who are supposed to be here. So, you just have to recuse yourself and then we take the closed session. Yes. Thank you very much. We can just spanike umzuzwana nje baphume bapheke. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. We want to, in the interest of time, I want to call upon our PDO, Dr. Ndlovu, to come forth as Osniga, the item that is supposed to render to us. Those who are not supposed to be here, so that we can be a little bit faster. Attendance, accreditation, and all those. Dr. Ndlovu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair, and let me extend my warm greetings to the leadership. We would want to present this pet district, as we have got 3 districts. The first being Ehlanzeni, We have invited 4 delegates per municipality. Ehlanzeni as a district, you've got 5 municipalities, as you can see on the screen. In terms of the first column, the second column talks about the invited delegates. It shows 4 delegates per municipality were invited. The third column talks about the number of delegates in attendance. The fourth column talks about whether a municipality is in good standing or not. Ehlanzeni District Municipality, we invited 4 delegates and 3 delegates attended, and that municipality is in good standing. From City of Mpumalanga, we invited 4 delegates, and these 4 delegates, as you are aware, delegates, we're talking about the executive mayor, the speaker, the chief whip, and the municipal manager. That's what comprises the 4 delegates. From the City of Mpumalanga, out of 4, we have 2 delegates. Okay. How many? You are 4, ne? That? That- If we exclude the PEC members, we exclude the mayor. Then it will be 3. Okay. This, what then do we do? All right. All right. We understand. We don't want to continue defending ourselves, but they say there's a possibility of maybe there could be somebody who have not signed the register, but I don't want to go there because I don't have proof of that as well. What if then it comes that the register was well signed? So let's rather. I see there's a hand from speaker, from EDM. Yeah. Yeah.
Then the 4 of us were here, except for the fact that the mayor is double parking, both as the mayor of the district and the chairperson of the province. I think that's the area where we need to clear.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's where the challenge
That
is.
goes to the City of Mpumalanga as well.
Yeah.
They are all here, but then the mayor is double parking.
Okay. All right. Are we allowed to present it as is, of course, taking what is being said? All right. If we need to correct, we might need some few minutes to correct. Okay. PC member Mtimunya?
And you come back to Hlanzeni with the corrections and then we adopt. Because if we're going to stay on Hlanzeni with no corrections, we'll be delaying. So I propose that we go to the next district And we, as your administration helps you to do the correction and then come back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Tumuja. Colleagues, okay.
No, thanks, Chair. I think let's allow you to present as it is to all the municipalities. The reason I'm moving that you are correct, it's because should there have been an item where you will have to vote, as a PC and a speaker, I wasn't gonna vote twice. I was gonna vote once. So we were supposed to deploy or delegate. So I'm here as a PC, there's no speaker in Emalahleni. So you are correct, this is in order. I move that we adopt it as it is. Because should we have said, let's vote, I wasn't gonna vote as a PEC and as a speaker. Same applies in Hlanzeni. Because the invite said Troika. And if I'm a PC, I should have delegate.
All right, it looked like there's still some inputs. Let's take them.
No, thank you very much, PTO. Well, whether you want to put it 3 or 4 or whatever, the fact of the matter is that the MM is here, the speaker is here, the chief whip is here. Remove me then, that means there must be 3 there. As a PEC member, that is our bone of contention. If you are going to say you removed the mayors and the speakers were PEC members, then at least it must reflect 3 there instead of 2. So that is the argument we are having. And next time when you invite us and we must delegate, you must tell us in time so we can delegate another person in the spaces of us as PC members. Because as it looks here, it looks as if other municipalities are not attending as per the invite of SALGA.
Understood. Because as we present, you'll see towards the end, there's a slide that talks about PEC. There's a slide that talks about PEC members. But still, I think the mayor is correct to say, even if we're not counting PEC members, they still have got 3 delegates from that municipality. Colleagues, Salga at the back, I think you are assisting there. Anything about you two in the process? Continue.
No, we continue, we'll adopt with changes. That is as simple as that.
Thank you very much. Now, I don't mention that too now. It's contested. Let's check if we are going to have challenges. Komazi, we invited 4, 3 in attendance. It's also a problem there. Have they all signed? You see?
So we take it, it's 3. So executive mayor is here as part of SALGA, not as part of City of Mbombela. So Nkomazi will give the other attendee to sign, but usaina nyalo. As we did this, if you check the register, he hadn't signed. So we do it based on this. So if there will be that error, please just indicate, we give you the register you sign, because our credentials must match what has been signed here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, colleagues. All right, so the figure of commas is going to be corrected also. Pushback Ridge, is there also a challenge? No, it's fine. Basmat deployed.
For councillor, C4's right.
All right. Okay. All right. Tabacheu, is there a contest? Okay. Desha, Tabacheu is also saying, even excluding the executive mayor, who's a member of the PEC, there are 3. Maybe somebody have not signed, I'm not sure.
Mashile is an official, is a manager revenue. He is not part of the delegates who were invited he was invited for the panel discussion on STS with Mr. Manel. So we can't count him here. In terms of the delegates required for the PMA, only 2 signed.
Yeah, from Tabache, we have got Gregory Mahlongonono and Hans. Oh, yeah, Gregory Mashile and Hans Trower. We have got 2 on the list.
Yes, Mr. Manele and Mr. Mashilo, they signed the guest list because we invited them as our guests. Hence, they didn't even have to pay the registration fee to be part of the PMA. That is we don't count officials except for the MM. Thank you.
Agreed, Tabache, on right. All the 5 municipalities from Ehlanzeni are in good standing. Nkangala district, hopefully there is not going to be challenges. Let's check. We invited 4 from the district municipality and 4 in attendance. Emalahleni invited 4. 1 in attendance. Is correct. All right. We have got 3 PEC members, then 1. Okay, Steve Chwete, 3 out of 4. Ni right? Okay. Victor Kanye, local municipality, we invited 4, 3 in attendance. Dr. JS, 3 out of 4. Good right, Nalap. Emakazeni, we invited 4. No one attended, and that municipality is not in good standing in terms of the membership levies. Tembisile Hani, we invited 4, we've got 4. Hertzebande, from the district municipality, we invited 4, we've got 4 in attendance. From Governing Pegi local municipality, we invited 4, we've got 3 in attendance. Correct. Likwa local municipality, we invited 4, 3 signed. Mkondo, we invited 4, 3 attended. Dr. Pixley Isaka Seme, we invited 4, and all 4 are in attendance. That's correct. Yeah. The Palisang local municipality, we invited 4, 2 signed the register. All right. Chief Albert Lutuli local municipality, we invited 4 and 4 attended. Then Msugalikwa, 4 out of 4. Msugalikwa, is it 3? There could be a problem. We have got the municipal manager, Mr. Gunene. We have got the chief whip, Councillor Sbego. We have got the speaker, Councillor Kaba. Is that the 3? If we don't count the executive mayor because she's a PC member. In terms of the register, there could have been a mistake on this one. Let's correct the 3 over 4. Now, then we have got some work to do on the figures here, colleagues, because according to the presentation from Ehlanzeni, that now in relation to municipalities, we have got 5 municipalities and 5 municipalities also in attendance. Invited delegates from Ehlanzeni district, that is now the whole district, you can call it a region if you want to. We have got 20 invited. If you count the delegates per municipality times the 5 municipalities, we have got 20 invited delegates. Now, the number in attendance is 14 out of 20, but maybe it can be questionable because of the discussion we had earlier. Yeah. Now, all the 5 municipalities are in good standing. Yeah, it's worth a round of applause. In Kangala district, we have got 7 municipalities, and we have got 6 municipalities in attendance. Remember, there's Emakazeni who is not here. Invited delegates, the 4 delegates per municipality times the 7 municipalities, it gives you 28. But in attendance, we've got 18. And out of the 7 municipalities, we have got 6 in good standing. We did not have much more issues in relation to the number on this one. Khatsibande, we have got 8 municipalities. We have got also 8 municipalities in attendance. We invited 32 delegates, and 27 are in attendance. And all the 8 municipalities are in good standing. The SALGA Constitution provides that the quorum at the Provincial Members' Assembly shall be a majority of delegates entitled to attend and vote at the meeting. The following credentials are presented. We have agreed most that I present as is, although we know it needs to be corrected. Out of 20 municipalities invited, 19, which amounts to 95%, are in good standing. And 1, which amounts to 5%, is not in good standing. Out of the 19 municipalities in good standing, 19 municipalities are in attendance. It's a good attendance. Out of the 80 delegates invited, 59 delegates are in attendance. It's about 74%. Out of the 14 PEC members, 12 members are in attendance and 2 are not in attendance. Out of the 2 PEC members not in attendance, 2 tendered an apology. In terms of recommendations, we note that a quorum at the Provincial Members' Assembly is 50% plus 1 municipalities in attendance. Having regard to the credentials, 19 members are in good standing, members now meaning municipalities. Of the 19 municipalities in good standing, 19 municipalities are in attendance. Out of the 80 delegates invited, 59 delegates are in attendance. In terms of the PC, 12 members are in attendance. In light of the above mentioned, this Provincial Members' Assembly is duly convened and meet the requirements of a quorum. It is therefore recommended that the Provincial Members' Assembly notes that 19 of members in good standing, represented by 59 delegates, are in attendance, and therefore the meeting quorate. That also, the recommendation number 2 is that this Provincial Members' Assembly adopts the credentials for the Provincial Members' Assembly as presented. That's the end of the presentations on the attendance and credentials. Hopefully, it will be now adopted with the corrections to be made. Can take the, look like there are questions, maybe.
No, thank you very much for the presentation, PDO. Can I get the mover? Councillor Shoman.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Well, Chair, before I move, I just want to make a submission that I think this issue of credentials, it should come to the attention of the leadership.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that next time it is dealt with precisely before we even come to the issue of credentials.
Okay.
Because it's telling us a lot of work that needs to be done. I move for the adoption of the credentials. Thanks, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Councillor Shomane. Any seconder? Oh, Councillor Nkosi.
We second the latter speaker with the amendment of removing one person from that municipality. It can't be as presented because there were 4-4, whereas it's 4-3. Msugalikwa, yes. No, if I say I second as presented, it means I'm saying
No,
Msugalikwa
with
is 4-4.
those corrections. Thank you very much. With those corrections, Siyabonga, we note what Councillor Shomane has said in terms of the credential. Thank you very much. We are taking the next item, which is the item on the adoption of our consolidated 2022 PMA minutes. In our package, there are a set of minutes of the 2022 PMA, which took place at the Forever Resort in Chief Albert Lutuli municipality on the 25th of November, if I'm not mistaken, in 2022. I want us to make sure that we adopt those minutes, but the one who's going to adopt must be a member or a delegate who was part of that PMA. Not, yeah, we want someone who was part of the PMA to say that, yes, we have given you ample time to go through the minutes, so it's time now that we want to adopt the minutes as the true reflection of what transpired in 2022. Councillor, member of the PEC, Councillor Mtweni. Mike, please.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. As a member was present, I want to move that we adopt the minutes. It's a true reflection of what we have discussed at our last year's Members' Assembly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. In Forever Resort, can we get a seconder who was also there? Sifuna laba bebakhona, uma BMP. Councillor Nkosi.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm Councillor Nkosi. I second.
Thank you very much. We are moving with the speed of a flying squad. We want to take the next item. Thank you very much. The minutes are duly adopted. We want to take the next one, which is the Provincial Organizational Report. What happened in our last financial year. I hope you have beamed the organizational report. It was supposed to be the chairperson of our beloved SALGA. So, can we get the organizational report? I'm told that they've already sent you the organizational report to all members. SALGA Mpumalanga Organizational Report 2023. Okay. The wrong one. Oh, 2022, 2023. Yes. So you are now standing on our ways. Nimendleleni yethu ne tea break. Technology phela inenkinga. Kunzima. Okay. PDO, are we fine? No, thank you very much. Our organizational report on 22-23, Provincial Members Assembly. Bula, E. Okay, let's take the next one. The purpose, in terms of the content, the purpose of the Provincial Members Assembly. Number 2, governance and related matters. 3, provincial performance against SALGA strategic outcome, which is the most important one. Update on the implementation of 2022 Provincial Members Assembly resolution. The 5th one is the municipal attendance in SALGA program. Payment of membership levies, I think we has highlighted PDO, and then recommendation. Purpose of this Provincial Members Assembly, a Provincial Members Assembly shall at least once a year hold a meeting of members to be known and described in a notice calling such a meeting as the Provincial Members Assembly. Such meeting must be held at least 30 days before the National Members Assembly. In terms of the Constitution, the National Members Assembly shall adopt the SALGA program of action, business plan, and the budget of SALGA as approved by the PEC, consider report for governance and structure and oversight bodies, deal with other issues emanating from the provision of the Constitution. The last Provincial Members Assembly was held on the 24th November 2022 at Bad Plus Forever Resort in Chief Albert Lutu local municipality. In terms of governance, as per the SALGA Constitution, the conference must elect a chairperson, 3 deputy chairperson. It's something that already happened, and 3 co-opted members. The Constitution further allows members to elect the chairperson of SALGA Women Commission as SWC, as the member of the PEC, as well as the member to represent SALGA in the National Council of Provinces, NCOP, and the Provincial Legislature. The number of PEC members as of the 31st of March 2023 was 14. The table 1 and table 4 of the report reflect the purpose of the governance structure as well as the members. Annexure A of the report reflects the attendance of provincial executive members, executive committee members. Delegated. Here it's our report that talks to what has transpired in our last, starting from the last PMA up until today. So I won't go through all this. This is some of the things that have happened. We check the key performance area, the SALGA intervention beneficiaries, and also the intervention outcome. So this has already happened. So I will just stick to the key performance area to say the city sustainability and support program has already happened. Let's take the next one. Key performance area, water and sanitation technology and innovation solution. We managed to do those intervention. The next one, let us be a little bit faster. Pending business risk on standard transfer specification token, identify a rollover, meter reset is something that has already happened in the different municipality of our province. Let's go to the next one, the key performance area. Support on municipality on development of danger allowance policy that we saw in all our municipality. Support on municipality on implementation of municipal performance management system. All municipality in the province managed to get that one. Okay. Oh, all right. The green one. Okay. Municipal Public Account Committee and other Section 79 and 8 Committee Oversight Accountability, Consequence Management and Ethical Leadership in all our municipality. Good Governance Maturity Index is GM pilot project, Emalahleni municipality, so it municipal governance support program engagement with the speakers of council, all municipalities of our province, capacity building opportunity for councillors and officials in Mpumalanga, all municipality, electricity and energy portfolio based councillor induction program, those municipality intervention, we saw it. Water and sanitation portfolio based councillor induction program in the intervention in all those municipalities mentioned. Water management portfolio committee, water management portfolio based council induction program in those municipality intervention, we saw it. Rural development plan in Govenbeek and Bushbuckridge, we saw it. Environmental local government support program, all municipalities of our province. Implementation of multi-year salary and wage collective agreement 2021-2024, all municipality. Representation of municipality in collective bargaining matters in the Mpumalanga division of the South African Local Government SALGA Bargaining Council, all municipality. Consultation and mandate session on National Central Collective Bargaining Matters, review of the main collective agreement negotiation wage curve and municipal categorization, COVID-19 compensatory framework for essential services, employees who work during lockdown, all municipality. Water service collaboration program, those municipality mentioned. Extended producer responsibility, the municipality that SALGA assisted. New generation capacity building program for municipality. That was the intervention by SALGA. Electricity division, industrial, EDI, those municipality mentioned there. Just energy transition, local government, the perspective, there those municipality mentioned. Lobbying for increased fiscal allocation to local government, all municipalities in the province. Department of Water Affairs and Sanitation, Water Board Service Area Extension, municipality mentioned there. Municipality supported to produce land use scheme. These are the municipality being assisted. Municipality on the rollout of tool to manage unlawful and land occupation. Those municipality there. Municipality measured on spatial transformation, city of Mbombela. Municipality supported on PHSD, what's that? Push PHSD, HDHA, all municipality and stakeholders. Progress report on the assessment tool developed for mainstreaming and vulnerable group of municipality, all the municipality. Coordination and convene SWC platform at national and provincial level, all the municipality. Local government support on the delivery of MHS, all district municipality in our province. The next one is the local government respond to HAST, improved all municipality in our province. Municipal audit support program, municipal that has been mentioned. Municipal financial sustainability, Likwa municipality and city of Mbombela. Local government climate change support program, Emalahleni local municipality. Devotion of built environment and function and subsidize the bus contract to municipalities, all our municipality. And then there will be there's an update on the implementation of 2022 PMA resolution, reflect on Annexure B of the report. Municipal attendance in SALGA program reflected on Annexure C of the report. Payment of membership levy reflected on Annexure D of the report. That is the 2022-2023 Provincial Organizational Report. Honorable councillors, delegates of our PMA, this is the report of what has transpired ever since up until today. So we want us all to adopt our report as the 2022-2023 Provincial Organizational Report. Can I get someone to adopt this report? As presented. Okay, Councillor Nkadimeng from Tabachu local municipality, the big sister of mine, Councillor Nkadimeng.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair, and greetings to the leadership in the House. I move that we adopt the report of 2022-2023, Provincial Co-Organizational Report.
Thank you very much. Cecile, Councillor Shumban, can you second?
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair. I rise to second that we accept the organizational report as presented. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shailatan. I need to be advised here. In terms of the agenda, we're supposed to break for tea. Just lambile. We want to proceed. About not to fasting, yeah, yeah. Okay. No, thank you very much. With your permission, let us continue with our agenda. I want, allow me to call upon our SALGA COO according to the program here. I'm not so sure, but I never saw Lance, who's going to take over from Lance to present, or is it you, the PDO? Yes. To declaration. Okay, no, thank you very Izobalul. Thank you very much. No, it's not a problem. No, thank you very much. I've been advised that let me call upon the Deputy Chair of our beloved SALGA, Councillor Mgomezulu, to come forth with the declaration, and he will take even the last item. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Program Director, for the opportunity, and good morning to the colleagues. My assignment is to present for now what is to be a draft declaration for our PMA, which read as follows. We, the delegates of Mpumalanga municipalities, gathered at a new hotel with Bank Emalahleni under the auspices of SALGA Mpumalanga on the occasion of the SALGA Mpumalanga Provincial Members Assembly convened on the 6th to the 7th of July 2023, hereby affirm our commitment to build capacity, support and advise the local government to establish a reputable local government. We take cognizance that the Provincial Members' Assembly is taking place during a critical time when the country is faced with load shedding and load reduction towards the 2024 South African general elections. From 1 July 2023, we appreciate the relations between SALGA Mpumalanga, Provincial Government, Mpumalanga House of Traditional Leadership and Cohesion, Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature and its strategic partners in continuously supporting the necessary, in providing the necessary support and assistance to municipalities. We adopt the minutes of the 2022 Provincial Members' Assembly. We repurpose municipal compensation benefits implementation model for municipal employees. We are inspired by the message of support by Inkosi R.A. Inkosi from Mpumalanga House of Traditional Leadership and Cohesion, raising concerns, confirming, appreciating, and reminding the local government sphere on the challenges faced by traditional leaders on public participation to municipal councils, land invasion, killings of councillors and traditional leaders, gender-based violence on women and children, executive mayors' engagement with communities. Notwithstanding the challenges that lie ahead and the conditions under which councillors must fulfill their obligations, we therefore note the non-payment of municipal rates by various stakeholders that affect the municipal revenue enhancement and basic service delivery to our communities. We also note the effect of climate change on the economy and floods destroying roads accessibility to communities, especially rural areas and farms. We also note the killings of councillors and gender-based violence on women and children. We note the proposal to establish a fourth district within our province. We note the need to empower councillors by the local government sphere. We note the clean audit outcome municipalities, which is a requirement. We note the provincial chairperson for energy and electricity working group that should report the progress made on STS TID rollover number of meter reset on monthly basis. We note that the intergovernmental relation structures in all spheres of government are not working in unison as envisaged by the district development model. We note that the municipal demarcation should not be seen as a solution for viability and sustainability. We therefore commit to encourage municipalities to adopt a collaborative governance approach, to revisit civic education, to bridge the gap between communities and municipalities, to fully participate in the integrated development plan processes, to contribute resources in partnership with other stakeholders towards a waste behavioral change campaign that is against littering and illegal dumping of waste. We commit to enforce bylaws on land invasion to evacuate land trespassers. And we also commit to improve basic service delivery to our communities, inclusive of road accessibility, distribution of clean water through pipe networks, waste removal, and sewer spillages. This Provincial Members' Assembly resolved that 1, municipalities must appoint in-house municipal valuers with work experience. 2, municipalities must support the promotion of alternative spaces and true citizen participation in matters of local governance. 3, municipalities to reject the just energy transition proposal by the PCC and to abstain from the decommission of coal power stations as it poses threat to the economy of Mpumalanga. 4, municipalities should report, discapacitate them on the 3 spheres of government and convey quarterly meetings with the traditional leaders. 5, municipalities, SALGA and COCTA to assist municipalities with professionalization of councillors' duties. And that municipalities to submit their data to SALGA to ensure that the dashboard has an up-to-date information and present the status of STS TID rollover prepayment meter reset in South Africa. And that SALGA marketing and communications to engage on a campaign for raising awareness to municipalities on this STS TID rollover issue. And that municipalities to establish a task team comprising of a technical, finance, and communications to oversee the implementation of the STS TID rollover prepayment meter reset, and municipalities to consider establishing the help desk on the STS TID rollover prepayment meter reset project, which stakeholders can be assisted even after hours. And that municipalities to consider SALGA to engage ESCOM CEO to request cooperation on the reporting status quo with the implementation of the STS TID rollover prepayment meter reset project in municipal area, memorandum of agreement in the first instance, and thereafter compliance with the qualification provisions of the COIDA. And that we endorse the proposal of SALGA convening a once-off compensation benefit summit in partnership with the designated department and entity to cultivate an environment of effective consultation, partnership mobilization, and across-the-board constituency buy-in. And that a study should be commissioned to assess the financial and governance situation of demarcated municipalities. We remain committed to improve the system of government and ensure that we collectively bring services to our people in a coherent, consistent, and sustainable manner. I therefore present the draft declaration before the Provincial Members' Assembly for adoption. I will invite the members, his comments, his hands. Councillor Boshoman, the first will be followed by the Executive Mayor, Mamum Tsweni, and the Speaker, Councillor Susan. Councillor Boshoman.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, we strongly raised the councillor welfare matter. And I want to suggest that we note the urgent need. We note the urgent need to address councillor welfare, security, including the fully capacitating the office of the Chief Whip. We commit to addressing the matter of councillor welfare, their security, and as I indicated, and we resolve to address as SALGA, Members Assembly 2023, to address the raised issues on councillor welfare, their need and their security and capacitation of the office of the Chief Whip. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mamtsweni.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want to correct something. Members will correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember Inkosi talking about executive mayors not being available. He talked about councillors. Yeah, so let's just correct that one.
Councillor, oral speaker, Mamsizane Temsilani.
No, thanks, Chair. I think I just want to correct the meetings of ward community meetings. As proposed to say they must at least meet twice per quarter to avoid a gap between the community, not ward committees. Ward committees are meeting monthly, it's fine, we're fine with it. But ward community meetings.
What community?
Meeting, yes, community meetings of councillors. Yeah, twice. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. I put it before the A. I so put it before the meeting as well as the move for the adoption with the amendments as made. Councillor Nkosi, Councillor Sizani, Councillor Makushe.
Thanks, Chair. I move for the adoption of this declaration as read with the additions or amendments made. Thank you.
There's a move, Councillor Sizani. I saw your hand, Councillor Makushe. Okay, just on record, I think they will want it to be on the mic for our records. Yes, Selby.
Chairperson, Deputy Chairperson of SALGA and the Province Chair of the session. I want to second the mover.
No, thank you very much. The declaration, it has been duly adopted by the members, Provincial Members Assembly. If I may check, is there any violent dissenting view in respect of what has been agreed upon? Let's give ourselves a round of applause thereof. No, thank you very much. We are on the last item, PDO. Is it the closure? Okay. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair, for rendering this item so well. Honorable delegates, I just want to indicate that all these PMAs that are taking place, we are the first province to hold the PMA this year. But I just thought that maybe it's correct that I also mention that after this, there's going to be the National Members Assembly. Now, if I can just run through, just for purposes of information, is that we are the first province. The other 8 provinces are still going to have their own. Just for an example, the Eastern Cape on the 2nd and 3rd of August in East London, Free State on the 24th and 25th of July, in Paris, Gauteng on the 3rd and 4th of August, Gold Reef City, KwaZulu-Natal, 12th and 13th July, Newcastle, Limpopo, 18 and 19 July, Thohoyandou, Venda, Mpumalanga, 6 and 7 July, Emalahleni, like we have heard it, Northern Cape, 26, 27 July, Katu, Northern Cape, next to Kuruman, Northwest, 1st and 2nd August in Vryburg, Western Cape, 29 July in Hermanus. Now, then the National Members Assembly is planned for the 4th to the 6th of September in Ekurhuleni Metro, Gauteng. So I'm just saying, perhaps we can prepare ourselves for the National Members Assembly, Ekurhuleni, for 4th to 6th September. Municipalities will receive from National Office the invite. Now, Chair, the other matter I must mention is that lunch was prepared for 1 o'clock. We have spoken to them. They tried to bring it earlier. The earliest they can do is 12 o'clock. Now, it's 20 past 11. There's still 40 minutes left before 12. I'm not sure if delegates would wait for lunch or what is going to happen, Chair. Just for your information.
No, thanks, PDO. We will have to wait, PDO, because we don't want to incur fruitless expenditures and to appear to make news headlines. So we will have to plead with delegates to ensure that at least we wait till 12 o'clock. Well, with respect to the last item, I think we, once more to all of our honorable colleagues, delegates, render a closing remark on behalf of our provincial chair who could not be with us due to bereavement at home. We had a very successful provincial members assembly, which was resounding. We were cognizant of the fact that we did not come here to play, and it was not a mere talk show, but we came here to engage in serious deliberations aimed at improving our work at our respective municipalities. It is therefore against this background that resolutions taken, PDO, will have to be immediately processed. And we extend our appreciation to our NEC deployees for their continued support. Councillor Nkosi, thank you very much, and all our NEC deployees, you are always with us in our PC meetings, in our members' assembly for the duration of the whole 2 to 3 days. And kindly pass our message of appreciation to our president and the CEO and the staff from head office, because they've been here as well. We thank you very much for their support in ensuring that this PMA becomes a success. And our sponsors, especially Bofin and Fundi, Smart Innovative, for their support to ensure that SALGA hold its successful PMA. Our provincial administrative team led by Dr. Ndlovu, and together with the organizing team, Mamtlumbane and the others, you have delivered a successful PMA. And we also appreciate our MEC who came as well here, the member from the UPCOSI, from the House of the Traditional Leadership and Khoisan, and other presenters and guests who honored our invitation. We thank you very much for your presence. Lastly, we commend ourselves as honorable delegates for the positive spirit shown, and that we should embrace such posture in our daily execution of our duties going forward. Let us drive safe back home, and our PMA is therefore declared officially closed. Thank you very much. Whoa.